Upper body session. It's gonna be a good one. Not too much talking because I am running against the clock today, but gonna try out some new exercises. This is not a calisthenics workout. This is gonna be a mix of obviously weights and calisthenics training. I do both training methods. I enjoy both, that's why I do both. So let's go. First thing we're starting off with, some pull-ups for the warm-up, and then we're gonna do some weighted pull-ups after that. But for this one, we're gonna go chest to bar for the warm-up, see how many I can get. Two, three, four, five, six, seven, eight. We're going 10 kilos for the second warm-up set. That rain is fast approaching again. Here we go. First working set, 20 kilos. Let's do it. Man, not feeling the strongest today, but we push through. Ordinarily, I would do 2 sets of the pull-ups. However, if I don't hit what I want to hit on this next set of 20s, I'm gonna do a third set and go down to 15, and then that's gonna be it for the pull-ups. Not every day you're gonna feel sparky and motivated and brand new and fresh, but the work still must get done, man. At the end of the day, the work still must be completed. Here we go. Lock in. Focus, focus, focus. Come on. I'll go one more set of 15. So my pull-up goal, or my aim for pull-ups, is to be able to do 40 kilo for reps. That's my main motivator when it comes to weighted pull-ups. A lot of people will say, why that? I just always had the vision of 2 20 kilo plates, 2 45-pound plates, wherever you're from, hanging from my waist and just repping pull-ups, man. For me, that's dope. You know, anything above that is a plus, great, amazing. But that's my main thing to reach that point. The highest I've got in regards to that, for like a decent amount of reps, I think I got as high as 30. Obviously, some things happen, so we've had to go back down. However, it's attainable, definitely attainable. We'll probably spend the next year or so trying to reach that goal. But I say it to say, have goals in mind for what you're doing. Helps to drive you forward, helps you keep motivated, keeps you accountable. Your goal may be different from someone else's. Maybe you just want to be able to do a 10 kilo weighted pull-up right now. It can change. It's not a goal that has to last forever, but it's just something that keeps you on the right trajectory, if that makes sense. That will do nicely. Next up, we got dips, man. Start with body weight for a few reps. Well, I say a few, but a warm-up set. we'll go 10 and then we'll go 20. So similar to the weighted pull-ups, or exact same actually, should I say, as the weighted pull-ups. Here we go. Nice. A piece of advice for those who are just starting out on your fitness journey, or you're trying to take your, your current program or routine or whatever, take your body to the next level, something along those lines. One of the things I would suggest to you is that you have to embrace the idea of repetition and the idea of doing the same thing over and over again for a very long period of time. Some may consider, some may call it that's not a long period. And what do I mean by that? I don't mean in the session, I mean overall. You need to be selecting an exercise that you know that you're possibly going to be doing for the next 6 months to a year. And why? Well, it's not about being boring or being tedious or whatever, one exercise being better than the other. The fact is you need to be actively tracking your progression, and you're not going to be able to do that as well as if you're jumping around doing different exercises, changing week in, week out, things of that nature. So ideally you want to do the same exercises on a consistent basis, so we can see that we're getting stronger in the same movement pattern over a period of time. And what do we call that? Well, we call that progression, or progressive overload. So you can do different exercises, you can switch it up and have fun, do whatever, do different variations, but the core of what you're doing needs to be relatively consistent. Don't switch programs every week, don't switch exercises every week, don't start doing this and that and whatever because you've seen someone else do it. Pick a set of exercises that you like, that you can progressively overload. Do them consistently with the best form that you possibly can, with the best intentions that you possibly can. Track it over a period of time. Say on this day I started off doing body weight. After 3 months, 6 months, I'm now doing 10 kilos for reps or whatever, things of that nature. But if you're constantly switching, constantly changing, not staying consistent in what you're doing, you're just playing a fool's game at the end of the day. And to add on to that, you'll notice as I post more and more workouts, I have a set of exercises that I do consistently. And you might go, well, that's boring, or whatever, la da da. But I'm not here to pretend to you or do a million different exercises in every single video that I do. Now I do tutorials and different exercises that you can do. Everyone is different, everybody likes different things. Some people may not like dips, they may prefer weighted push-ups, or they might prefer incline press, bench press, all those different things. However, with all those exercises, you are still able to track your performance over time. So when you watch these videos, it's not to say do all these exercises in one session. The goal is to pick one, progressively overload it, progressing within the movement, and then once you say, I've had enough, this is getting a bit boring, I'm going to move on to this now. Maybe it doesn't register with your body as well as what you was doing before. That's okay. Pick something else. Pick a different variation. Pick maybe dumbbells rather than a barbell. All different things. So, that's the best advice that I can give you, potentially. Let's go 10 kilos again. I lost my plate for a second there. But yeah, that's what it's actually about. And this is why some people can't get on board, because they go, oh, the gym is so boring and blah, blah, blah. And maybe it's not for everybody. But if you want to get to the next level, that's what you have to do. It's like any sort of sporting activity. You must just do reps. It's like basketball, just continuously shooting, free throws or frees, or, practicing your dunk over and over and over again. Boring, yes. Tedious, maybe. But when the time comes, your consistency will show, your excellence will show. And that's what we're looking for at the end of the day. Excellence. All right, 10 kilos. Let's do this for reps, and then we'll move up to 20 for 2 working sets. Here we go. All right, 20 kilos next set. So for those of you who take an active interest in my thumbnails or notice my thumbnails, you know there's always an anime theme. And one thing I would say for the anime lovers out there, or if you're not into anime, one thing you can say is that they are not afraid to do the work, to consistently do the same things over and over again. You know, they be having training arcs of like 4 or 5 episodes. Obviously, I know it's not real, but sometimes they will train for a whole year just to beat someone, or just to master a skill, or you know, master an element, things of that nature. So you can apply that to yourself and understand that Rome wasn't built in a day. And in all facets of life, those who have put in the reps consistently and diligently will supersede those who haven't, who maybe just done it a few times and you know the intensity and the effort is not there. Everyone starts at different starting points, of course. However, over time, repetition is king. Repetition is key. You know, and they say practice makes perfect, but practice also makes permanent. Once you've practiced something enough times or done something enough times, it almost becomes second nature to you. And again, that shows. And people go, wow, that looks easy. But they haven't seen the thousands of hours that you've put in to perfect that. And that's just not in, you know, fitness. That's in many different walks of life. If you want to get good at reading, you have to read. And when people hear you read, they go, wow, they read with such flow and essence. The same as if you know an instrument or, you know, cooking. Many different things. Repetition is king. Could have fought for a last rep there, but wouldn't have been worth it, man. And probably would have been a little bit ugly, so we'll take that. Final set. Let's go. Okay. Love it, love it, love it, love it. Now, one thing in this life that will always be rewarded is innovation, guys. And I made my own row setup. I had some existing parts from a resistance band setup that I bought a long time ago. Obviously, if you've been here a while, you know I have a pulley system, and we're just gonna set up this row thing. Now, is it the most attractive? Will it be the most optimal? I don't know. But at the end of the day, guys, we're just trying something, you know? So, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Hey, that works pretty well for me. So we'll put another, we'll go another 20 plate, see what that can do, and then we'll, you know, we'll either see if that's going to be the work-up set or maybe another warm-up set. But I think that's going to be a working set. I truly believe the more innovative you are, the further that you'll go in life. You know why? You don't quit, you don't give up, you make it happen, even with little to no resources. You don't have a you know, woe is me mentality. You just lock in and do what needs to be done, man. Feel me? Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 6, 7, 8, 9. All right. Bench was moving slightly, so I know I gotta put a weight plate at the front of this bench to secure that. But overall, good. Another set. I could actually go up in weight, but I'm not going to today. One, because I'm not sure if this power rack will fall forward. It does need some securing. And secondly, yeah, the setup isn't obviously a complete setup. This is the first time I've actually done this, to be fair. So you guys are first time seeing this. But yeah, I gotta be a little bit mindful, you know? Can't go crazy yet. Just move that a little bit. Here we go. Damn. Six, 7, 8, 9. Ordinarily wouldn't go that high up in the reps, but we'll take it, man. As I said, anything up to 10 is not nothing crazy, but a little less volume next time will be suffice. But now we know we can rig this. We're gonna really pack on some weight on that very soon. I'm gonna try this curl variation. I've seen this thing, Bayesian curl. I know what they are. I didn't know they had a name like that. But this is my version of it. We're gonna see how it comes out. Here we go. Hopefully you guys can still see me. Just make sure. I should be good there. All right. It does get a nice stretch in the bicep. How optimal it is, beyond me, but we're gonna do it regardless. We already started it, so. I can definitely feel my bicep working a lot. So it is in like a very, very stretched position. And then we're getting that contraction at the top. Try something new, try something different. Do you know what I mean? I like them actually. I feel like, you know, it does put a lot of tension on the bicep, which is what I'm looking for. I like it. The only drawback I would say of them is that it's kind of hard to keep your elbow in a fixed position. Whereas usually when you're doing bicep curls, you can, you know, keep it more fixed here. Because we're kind of working from up here, it is a little bit, you know, not the best stability wise, but still, man, I think it's quality. Do you know what I mean? Here we go. 1, 2, 3. Other side, here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Lateral raises, it is. Here we go. Guys, unfortunately, I have to cut this session short. I've already gone over my allotted time slot for this workout, so cut the session short. We only missed out on 2 exercises, which are going to be flies, chest flies, and tricep extension. But we done dips, so you know, chest is already doing what it needs to do. But I appreciate everyone for watching. Make sure you like, you comment, you subscribe, all that good stuff, and I'll catch you on the next one. I'm out. Peace.